There seems to be a lot of collaboration happening between a lot of the big names in the space, like for example, Ripple, Quant, Hedera, Algorand, and so many others. In a recent announcement, we now have Ripple working with Archax, and we're going to be addressing this and really kind of talking about how trillions of dollars are about to flow into both XRP and even Hbar over the course of the next couple of weeks, months, and years ahead. Because again, we're not going to see trillions immediately overnight. It's going to start with millions, billions, and then trillions. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. As we look at this recent announcement, I've already made a video regarding this with XRP, but the reason why I'm bringing it back up is because I want to talk about this in the same sort of spotlight as Hedera and also how this pertains to both of these projects and how they can actually complement each other. So as we look at this announcement, right, we have Ripple collaborates with Archax to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets to the XRP ledger. Again, this is really kind of starting with a small amount that will blossom into billions of dollars, and then eventually we will see trillions of dollars. We know that this is a very small amount compared to the overall market size because Archax's CEO told us himself that this is roughly like a I think it was like $1,700 trillion market. Like, it's crazy. $1.7 quadrillion worth of, value is out there that could very well be touched by these networks. It's insane. So as we really look at this, right, we have a full breakdown of it. They are bringing hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets onto the XRP ledger, which I think is going to be great for XRP and for the actual ledger itself. The agreement represents an evolution of the relationship between Ripple and Archax, which was established in 2022 when they collaborated with Medico to offer digital asset custody services to its clients. Medico was acquired by Ripple in mid-2023, and that's when this really kind of started to blossom into reality. Our industry is at the start of the next major adoption stage in which blockchain technology will deliver real utility in financial markets at scale. Ripple is excited to see Archax's vision of driving the adoption of blockchain and digital asset technology amongst financial institutions come to life, while further underlining the credentials of the XRP ledger as one of the leading blockchains for real-world asset tokenization. Now, we have hit the tipping point for mainstream adoption of digital assets for real-world use cases, and this is from the CEO of Archax. There is clear real-world utility in use cases like RWA tokenization for the operational efficiency, access to liquid markets, and transparency inherent to crypto, and Archax has already tokenized assets such as equities, debt instruments, and money market funds. Financial institutions are now understanding this, and we are excited to play our part in helping them to embrace the technology by bringing their assets onto the XRP ledger. So very exciting stuff. Like I said, this also builds upon the fact that, yes, Archax is also working with Hedera. Over here, we have the recent announcement in April of Hedera, Onera, and Archax working together on a BlackRock money market fund. Again, BlackRock was aware of this. Was BlackRock, incorporated in this? Not specifically. They knew about this. They agreed to have one of their money market funds tokenized with Archax and Hedera. But again, this is still pretty significant because we are now starting to see this space and tokenization itself starting to really be taken seriously. And this is a multi-million dollar money market fund that is coming to Hedera. We also know Aberdeen has billions of dollars that are also tied to Hedera, which is very exciting. If we go over here to Archax, though, we could see 500 million to be moved on-chain by Archax in this year. 63 funds available to be tokenized on Archax, 7 asset managers actively onboarded to Archax as well. Now, if we scroll down, we have our regulated global exchange and custodial ecosystem is unlocking the potential of digital assets for institutional investment. And Hedera has been a key part of our infrastructure thanks to their commitment to trust, security, and performance. And we could also see Archax, the first regulated global digital asset exchange in the UK, leverages the bank-grade security and performance of the Hedera network and its services to offer institutions a trusted platform for trading and custody of digital assets, fostering mainstream adoption. Now, you might be saying, well, Nick, how are they working with XRP as well? Because we are headed towards a multi-chain future where multiple players will be picked. If you want to dominate this cycle and absolutely crush it with profits, you need to go and check out the new course that I just dropped. And the best part is that it's completely free. That's right, it's completely free. There's going to be a link down in the description below. Go and get this course right now before the market goes absolutely parabolic. And in my opinion, it seems as though, the big players that we have been following for so long, that I've been making videos on, are now being handpicked. I think that these are the projects, these are the platforms that will be around for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, even 100 years from now, that are going to be dominating the world of finance. I think that we stand at a very significant point in history to be invested into the next 100-year plus technology that's going to be around longer than us. But we have Archax is pioneering a new era of digital asset trading, all through, of course, DLT. And we also have down here, how did Archax get there? We have Archax was founded in 2018, all with decades of experience in senior leadership roles with regulated financial institutions. They were watching firsthand how Bitcoin was disrupting the financial landscape. It was the technology that powers crypto that really caught their attention, and they realized that DLT could offer much more than just cryptocurrencies, and that the technology has a potential to power every financial asset in the future. And think about how much money is out there. I mean, securities alone are well into the $2.5 quadrillion plus area, and they're already working with the DTCC. And when I'm talking about like Archax, I'm not saying them specifically, I'm just saying the DTCC is working with DLTs. So it's crazy. It's crazy where we are at right now during this entire wild ride. And I get it, right? Like, we're looking at price action and it seems like it's like, what is going on here, right? We're just in the middle of a cycle. And when we really look at the path forward, we're headed towards a much more advanced market where it's a lot more mature, and utility is the main driver. Right now, speculation and hype and Bitcoin is the main driver of this market, at least until Bitcoin dominance tops out. But over here, we have stablecoins really are one of the big keys to unlocking the space as well. And this is where I do think that, Ripple stablecoin comes into play. But I'm also going to be talking to you guys a little bit about something very interesting here in a second.
Great segue into stablecoin. As you know, Ripple will launch its own stablecoin second half of this year. And so what role do you see stablecoins playing in all this?
Yeah, I think everyone puts things in the buckets, I think, or at least I do, crypto and stablecoins, and then RWA, digital securities. But the reality is the securities piece, the real value only comes when you have something like RLUSD able to be used in line with the security. So, for example, if you want to have, everyone talks about atomic settlement, but when you go and look at most atomic settlement offerings in the space, all they are database entries where they're swapping beneficial ownerships of cash and tokens. But if you actually have someone buying an asset using a stablecoin and someone selling an asset on the same technology, that's something that didn't really exist before. In the traditional world, the fiat rails are over here, your asset rails over here, and you have to try and make them talk. But if they're on the same technology, then you can ask questions. If you've delivered this and you've delivered that, then settle. You can start paying corporate actions using stablecoins. You can, part of the interest and dividends that now exist in our system, we can pay out in XRPL. So if you've got a distributing fund, we could pay RLUSD out as a dividend, or we could pay scrip dividends of more of the same shares on XRPL. So, stablecoins really are one of the big keys to unlocking this space. So, it's great you guys are going into the space, and great that Jack's leading it as well, because Jack's a great guy.
Now, building on top of this, right, I do think that the stablecoin is crucial for unlocking a lot more opportunity around the space. But think about what Hedera also offers. They offer the Stablecoin Studio. Remember, this is the all-in-one stablecoin solution that is built out on Hedera, and it has compliance built in, KYC, AML accounts, all that kind of stuff. Easy to use development kit, robust administration and compliance configurations, proof of reserve for treasury management, and everything that you can ask for when it comes to stablecoins. And already, if we actually look at this, we can see some of the players already tapped in on this that have a stablecoin. I mean, it's crazy the tech stack that some of these projects in this space actually have. Hedera has been leading the path towards stablecoin initiatives for a very long time. And even if we look over here, we could see under the Stablecoin Studio that there's about roughly 6 projects under this right now. I would assume that this is going to probably grow a lot more in value, as well as a lot more projects coming over to Hedera to launch their stablecoin, especially as we do start to see more regulatory clarity happening around stablecoins. That way we have something to kind of go off of. And the fact that the studio already has built-in KYC and AML functions is such a big deal. Now, beyond this, right, as we look at the last few posts here, I want to address this post here from Smoke Dog, and then I also want to address the World Economic Forum post, and then my post from the summer of last year. We have over here from Smoke Dog, when RWA are integrated into blockchain, the narrative changes. 454.4 trillion. Unfathomable amounts of wealth projected to flow into the digital asset industry just through the use of tokenizing real world assets. Now, again, it's not just going to be XRP and HBAR, but I do think that 454.4 trillion, a significant piece of that will flow onto the most efficient networks in the space, and the ones that actually have all the tools in the arsenal to actually manage this amount of money. And I do think that that is, the XRPL and also Hedera. Now, those are 2 great projects. There's also XLM, you have Algorand, even Casper technically. So you have a vast amount of projects that could very well be tapped in here. But two of the biggest projects that really kind of shine the most for me is HBAR and XRP when it comes to having everything in place to support this massive wealth transfer, essentially, if you will call it that is coming to the digital asset industry. Now, to kind of support this, remember that the World Economic Forum projected that 867 trillion will be tokenized. And this was back in May of 2021. Now, this figure has grown significantly since then, especially with a lot of those markets. We're talking about 3 years, right? In 3 years, a lot of these markets have grown tremendously. So this 867 trillion is now probably well over $1 quadrillion. You look at securities themselves, you're sitting at like $2 quadrillion plus. When you look at derivatives, 600 trillion notional value. I think that the last time that I looked at it was like 1.2 quadrillion. So there is so much money out there. So much money out there. It's ridiculous. And remember what I said, right? I said, let's take a second and think about some of the organizations embracing blockchain and DLT. You have the DTCC settling 2.4 quadrillion. It's now $2.5 quadrillion worth of securities per year. SWIFT, global network comprised of 11,000 plus banks and financial institutions. The BIS, the central banks of central banks, account for 95% of the global GDP. The ISDA, organization focused on global derivatives markets to make them safer and more efficient, $600 trillion notional value. Then you have BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, 20 trillions in assets under management. These 3 are looking at a few things around the space. Tokenization, specifically when it comes to BlackRock. Vanguard is still kind of on the fence. State Street is also still kind of on the fence, but they already are kind of infiltrating the space through some pretty significant private company partnerships. I said all major banks like JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, and others are already talking about how disruptive this technology is. They are ready to use it when the time is right. The FSB with the IMF, the BIS, and the G20 are working on global crypto regulatory frameworks. Everything is in place and moving faster than you think. Now, with all of this information combined with the countless documents around all of these great projects and others, I only have one question to ask. How could you not see what is going on? Another great question is to ask everyone is, how could you be bearish? The next 10 years will be forged through this technology. Digitalization is nearly in full effect, and everything of value will start to be tokenized. These things take time, but once things start, they won't slow down. The 4th Industrial Revolution has already started. Once regulations are in place, all the games stop. Now, when we think about that, right, I want to go back a little bit because, yes, like I said, once this starts, there's no slowing down. We already have tokenization starting on the XRP ledger. We already have tokenization starting on Hedera. Even if you go over here to Hedera and the use cases and just go to the RWA tokenization space under functional use cases, this breaks down how much money is already on Hedera. And if we look at how much money is already on Hedera in terms of tokenized assets, it's well over $50 million. So again, these 2 are already connected significantly in the RWA tokenization space, and they're already being utilized heavily. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on, if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.